How's it going, everybody? Peter here again for another video. I wanted to put something together very quickly, answering some of the most frequently asked questions about boosting the 3.7. So let's get into it. Question number one, what parts do you need? In a perfect world, you should already have all the full bolt-ons done before you boost your car, but realistically, the only parts you actually really need as a bare essential are going to be your drive shaft and your injectors. So the stock drive shaft, definitely want to swap that out, even if your car is NA, because they're absolutely horrible. I'll put some links in the description down below for some drive shafts, but I highly recommend you go with one that is 3.5 inches as opposed to 4. The reason for that is because if you go with the 4-inch one and you're running certain types of aftermarket shifters, there are chances that the shifter and the drive shaft will make contact and it'll do not nice things. Ask me how I know. And as far as the injectors, you're going to go with at least 65-pound injectors. I went with the DEATSCHWERKS ones, but I believe Injector Clinic also makes a pretty good set, so you can go with those too. But in reality, those are the only two things you're really going to need. Should you have all the bolt-ons? Yes, but to have the car actually running and reliable, you don't theoretically need all of them. So it's just going to be really those two things. Question number two, how much power will I make? Procharged cars on entry-level boosts, say anywhere around 6 to 8 pounds, typically make within the ballpark of 415, let's call it 410 to 450. And that's going to depend on the bolt-ons that you already have. It's going to depend on how much boost you're running, and also depend on whether you have a P1 head unit or a D1 or a P1X or a D1X. But you can expect somewhere within the low to mid 400s for what you're going to make on entry-level boost. Question number three, is it reliable? Any non-factory boosted application is never going to be as reliable as it would be if it were naturally aspirated. But as far as this PROCHARGER kit goes, they're pretty reliable as long as you install everything correctly, as long as you have a good tune, as long as you have good fuel. They are pretty reliable. The only issues that I had in my experience as far as reliability were things that weren't installed properly. So if I had something that wasn't tightened down all the way, or there's just something that wasn't installed properly, that's where I ran into reliability issues. It had nothing to do with the kit itself. It was just merely installation complications. Question number four, this is probably the golden question. How much will it cost? So I would say if you're going used versus new, if you're going used, you should expect to spend at least 3,500 to 4,000 US. By the time you get all the parts, the kit, the supporting mods, like I said, the drive shaft, the injectors, tuning, at least 3,500 to 4,000 US. Question number five, do you need to change the clutch? Yes and no. If you have the money, definitely go for it, because if you install a good clutch, you'll actually be able to power shift the car. So I went with the SPEC Stage 3 as well as the SPEC flywheel, and that was amazing. I was able to power shift the car at 6-7 grand, no problem. The stock clutch, you're not really going to be able to do that, but it's still good enough. You can still drive the car, you can still shift it, but it's not going to be like a drag car or something like that. Question number six, should you run meth? Now, with an entry-level boost application, this isn't 100% necessary, but if you do have the funds, I would definitely recommend you go this route, just because it's such good insurance on your engine. Now, if you're going above entry-level boost, let's say 12 pounds or more, you're 100% going to need it. Question number seven, what's better, supercharger or turbo? Now, I don't want to get into the supercharger versus turbo debate, but if I were to start over again, I would have gone turbo. As a matter of fact, for my LS swap now, I'm going turbo. I'm not going with the blower. I think turbo is the way to go because there's way less maintenance involved and they make more power. Question number eight, is it hard to maintain? No, not really. There are definitely some more maintenance procedures you're going to have to do now that your car is boosted. For example, you're going to have to change the blower oil and you're going to have to change the belts. Those aren't too hard to do, but it is just more work you have to keep on top of. I do recommend, though, you get the oil drain line for the PROCHARGER head unit. That makes changing the oil so much better because you don't actually have to take the blower out of the car. So definitely invest in that. And as far as the belts, make sure you have some in your vehicle ready to go. So for me, I would just usually have 1 or 2 sets and the tools required to change them, always just in the trunk of the car, because I guarantee you, you will break belts at one point. Question number 9, which head unit is best? Now, this is really going to come down to what your long-term goal is. For most people, the P1 is going to be more than enough. That blower can easily make anywhere from 400 to 600 wheel horsepower. Even when you start swapping pulleys, it's not a problem. But keep in mind that when you start getting into the higher horsepower levels with the entry-level blower and you're doing small pulleys, belt slip does become an issue. Ask me how I know. So if you're looking to go 600, 700 wheel in the future, you're probably going to want to go with either a P1X or a D1 or a D1X, just because those blowers can make higher horsepower so much easier. Now, I know that some companies, they'll offer, if you buy the kit brand new, they offer a blower upgrade for not that much more expensive. So if you are buying the kit brand new and a blower upgrade's not that much more money, I would say definitely go for it, just because it's a good long-term investment. Question number 10. How was the overall experience and would you do it again? I absolutely loved this setup. It was so much fun. The car was very fast, super unique. I would definitely do it 100% over again. But if I were to do it again, I would have maybe gone turbo, or I would have gone straight for maybe a D1 or a P1X. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for future updates on my LS swap. Thanks a lot. Take care.